How many live buttons do you have to hit?
Like 6 now. It used to be 1, 2. Now it's 6.
I have one.
Yeah,
We're live.
you, you can host it next time and go through all the shit that I have to go through.
Sounds great,
Uh,
especially when you have to do it at 6 a.m. in the morning, right?
yeah, it's not too bad, mate. It's pretty good. All right, so are we coming over? We're on the girls, we're on the boys, and we're on personal. Yeah, we are. Good morning, Dom, or good evening, Dom. How are you? Hey, Danny, how are you, Speedy? Good to see you.
What's
How are
up,
you, Dom?
Moose?
You did? You good?
Hey, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I had a solid week. Very, very new week. Good weekend, but everything's good. How are you?
Yeah, dude. I'm doing okay. Doing okay, mate.
Wh- What's the
Yeah.
latest news? What's been going on for you last week?
Oh, yeah. I won't get into that. There's some family stuff, but yeah, it's been a rough week, let me tell you. But yeah. No,
Okay,
apart from that, it was good. Mother's Day was really, really good. We celebrated Mother's Day on Sunday, and it was lovely to have some time with wifey and the kids and spoiling her rotten. So she deserves it. It was really, really good. But yeah, dude,
sounds
life's really,
great.
really good. Morning, everyone. How are you? Um, just remember, it's live Q&A, so if you got any questions, drop them in the comments for me, please, and I'm more than happy to answer them for you. If I can't get to them now, I will get to them eventually. Um, yeah, and also send me a DM anywhere, anytime, and we'll answer them sometime. That's for sure. Sorry, dude, I got red eyes this morning. I think the cold weather's smashing me. Anyway, let's get into our qua. We'll call it qua.
What, you feeling sick? Is that what you just said?
Nah, man, just a change of weather.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
just a
it's
change of
getting
weather.
cold down there, right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
starting to get freezing. It was yeah, it was cold to get to the gym this morning. I'll tell you that. But we got there and we smashed it out, and
That's
yeah, it was
important.
good.
You got
Yeah,
there.
no, it was
Awesome.
really, really good. Good session this morning. All right,
Oh yeah.
question number one. We have: how do you cope with sweet cravings? How do you cope with sweet cravings, Dom? How do you cope with them?
That's a favorite. That's an all-time favorite. I'm a big sweet tooth guy.
Yeah, I thought you'd like this
Um,
question.
I like. There's multiple things. Some honey, dark chocolate,
Yeah,
protein shake is a big one for me. I like energy drinks, so I have sugar-free energy drinks that hits the spot.
yeah, I'm with you
Beautiful.
on that.
Yeah,
What's
like
your favorite energy drink?
uh
We're not sponsored,
currently
by the way.
C4 rain.
Yeah, C4 is pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
and
no,
I have the
yeah.
Hawaiian popsicle pineapple here.
Oh, I
Pretty
need to
good.
go back to your side. We don't get those fancy ones.
Yeah, yeah.
That
And
sounds good.
a grape. I like the. It's weird. People don't like it, but I like the artificial grape flavor. The American artificial grape.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
my shit right there. I love
Oh,
it.
God. You're,
So
you're,
I mean, it's important to kind of like know when you get those cravings, and I always get those cravings when I eat too much. When I eat
yeah,
really heavy, I get that spike and I want sugar. So, kind of knowing when that's going to happen, maybe eating less, right? To
yeah,
not even get there. And if you get there, hey, there's so many options not to grab for that full packet of sugar and open it and you know you're going to crush it.
yeah.
Just try to, have something ready. If you get that taste in, that sweetness off of something where you don't really have to just go for a whole package, it's going to make a huge difference. At least it does to me.
Yeah, definitely. I think we got to go back to why do you have the cravings, right? And how do you
Yeah.
cope with them? So Dom suggested finding alternatives that will fit into your calories, which is really, really good. I'm a big fan of that. I don't like restricting people, especially when they're my clients, of the foods that they really crave. For example, one of Danny's watching right now. We had a good chat yesterday about her craving for chocolate, and what we worked out was she can get a high protein pudding and put some Cadbury's chocolate in it, actually, to get those cravings over the line. So she hits a hit of protein, lower calories, rather than eating a whole family block of chocolate, but puts a couple of squares of Cadbury's inside the actual protein cup as well, and
Love
therefore
it.
she gets a hit of protein and the sweets as well. So that's one way of coping with the sweets. So you don't take yourself away from it, because if you do, you'll find you're actually crave it
Yeah.
more, and all of a sudden self-destruct mode goes really, really hardcore. And I'm guessing most of you out there can actually resonate with me on that one because, yeah, it's tough when you've got big cravings. I'm a big savory guy as well, so I love corn chips. Like I would say corn chips are my weakness, like my kryptonite. So I just find the alternative popcorn, the popcorners, whatever they call it, that taste very similar. So it's always about substitution. Fruits are really good for sweet cravings. Like fruit, really, really good.
Fruit, yeah.
Yeah, I
Like
love
fruit.
watermelon. Again, really sweet, but really low
You
in
mentioned
calories.
the yogurts. We have the Chobani Greek
Yep,
yogurts. They have
yep.
like 60 calories and 12 grams of protein, which is
Perfect.
perfect.
Yeah,
And yeah, I mean the flavors, they even have like cookies and cream and stuff like that. So
yeah.
yeah, they've become sick. So
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah.
It's crazy, and I like the salted caramel yogurts as well, right? They just give me
Oh,
that
me
little bit
too.
of sweetness.
I
Yeah.
love caramel.
Oh, dude, salted caramel, really, really
Sick.
good. But think about what we were talking about now. If you compare some protein with your sweets or your snack or something that you're craving, you're getting your protein in, but you're also getting the satisfaction of that craving, which is really,
Yeah.
really good. But don't discount. Sometimes you might just be fucking bored. And when you're bored, you tend to get hunger cravings. So sometimes drinking water or a coffee or a tea or something that will just satisfy those cravings pretty, pretty quickly and just give you a bit more of a full stomach. So, yeah, just go back to the root cause. Why are you hungry? Why are you craving that thing? Are you neglecting it? Have you taken it out of your diet indefinitely? And in that essence, you're probably creating that craving, that hunger craving. You'll go for it even harder. So, yeah. Look, if you need to, keep a chocolate bar in every room of the house and test your willpower every single day, right? Walk past it. If you can do that, you're doing really, really well.
Well
Um,
said, coach.
it's all about balance, right? It's all about balance. Morning quest. What's more important, calories or protein? Okay. This is really, really cool. Balance is the most important part, I think. Right? Both are super important.
Trick
Calories,
question.
huh? Yeah, yeah.
Trick
Um,
question.
Calories are crucial for managing your weight, while protein is crucial for muscle repair and growth. But caveat to that, it's also crucial for weight loss. Okay, also
Yep.
crucial for weight loss. But what's more important, calories or protein? It depends on your goals. If you're looking to lose weight, you've got to focus on a calorie deficit. If you're looking to build muscle, you've got to get your calories up, right? And you eat more protein. So there's a fine balance in terms of what your goals are. When it comes to calories or protein. We also got to remember not all calories are created equal. Okay.
Yeah.
Focus on nutritious, nutrient dense foods that also provide good proteins. If you can get your protein source from as natural products as possible, it's even better. Also, make sure you're prioritizing weight training while you're lifting or while you're eating high protein diet so you can get the maximum benefit out of it. Dom, you got anything you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, most people are familiar with the calorie deficit to lose weight, right? Crucial. What most people are not familiar with is that they're under eating protein, right? That protein is tied in with so many things, right? Understanding that more muscle mass will increase your basal metabolic rate,
Yeah.
which then again will burn more calories if you're just sitting or laying around, and just with your overall body structure, makes a huge difference. So hard to say that's one or the other is more important, but I think there's certainly more education that needs to be done on the amount of protein any person is consuming.
Yeah, totally agree. Totally agree. So, yeah, the importance depends on your goals. Again, if you want to lose weight, you got to be mindful of your calories. If you want to build muscle or gain weight, you got to add the calories on. But protein target is super, super important. Hope that makes sense. This is a favorite question for Dom. What coffee is best to get at Starbucks when you're on a deficit? Now, caveat: Dom doesn't drink coffee, so
Love it. I go to Starbucks every morning. It's like in my routine. I like to crush a whole frappuccino cappuccino triple caramel, yeah, before I even start my day. So yeah, right on. That's
Yeah.
all you, Mike.
So, what coffee is best? Well, again, let's go. We're talking weight loss and health here. Anything with zero calories is good for me, which basically is long blacks. They're probably your best bet. Next thing would be anything made with a non-fat milk, skim milk, almond milk, something like that. Don't go for the what Dom said, frappa duppa
Please
Uber
repeat it. What
Dubachinos.
did I
They are
say?
super high in calories. Let's put it in perspective. If you go, I've seen the calories. I think one of those grande frappa grabbuccinos, whatever they are,
Yeah, that one.
frappa grabbuccino, 700 or 800 calories in one coffee, right? And if you have 2 of those a day, you're basically eating a full day's worth of food. So let's be mindful of it. If we need to be in a deficit, we need to find stuff that is calorie less. Your best option is anything without any additives, milks in it, like that. Okay, green teas,
Yeah.
black coffees, low calorie drinks, anything like that. But don't go for the syrups. Don't go for the syrups. The syrups are full of sugar. There's people out there, and I'm talking to you, right? That you have a caramel latte with 4 sugars in it. It's basically, why don't you just go and eat a whole bag of sugar? Okay, same thing. But if you find one, if you find one with no calories, we'll be fine.
That's a crucial point right there, right? You're starting off with a Starbucks of 800 calories for women. That's half the calorie intake of their entire day with no nutritional value. That coffee is not going to get you anything, and you have 800 calories in, right? That's like stuffing your face with a couple donuts or something. It's like, it's just sugar and carbs. It's like,
you're probably better off.
You full. It's not going to give you any nutritional benefit. So yeah, I think it's crucial to understand, like, what are you putting in your coffee? I don't think you want to pack that with calories if you have any certain weight loss goals, for example.
And if you're like me, I'm a coffee fiend. I have probably 4 coffees a day. I go for anything. Like, I drink bagged coffee now, which is really, really good. It's very low in your milligrams of caffeine hit, which is good. So just be mindful. If you enjoy your frappuccino, whatever it is, make sure you have it allow it for you in your calories. Okay, you're probably going to have to remove lunch, but if you allow it in there and you can have it, great. It's all in moderation. But if you want the truth, you got to look for your low calorie options if you want to keep onto a maintenance or on weight loss journey. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, any fast food hacks you'd recommend? Yes, there's plenty of them. Okay. Talking about it again with some clients last night. If you're going out to eat dinner with friends at a fast food place or something that you can't control, get the sauce on the side. Don't order the steak smothered in mushroom sauce. Have the sauce in a container on the side, because then you get to control the portion or the amount of sauce you put on. Nobody wants to smother. Well, I mean, we do, but nobody likes to smother everything with cream and sauce and stuff like that, because that's going to smash you with your calories, right? You've got to be mindful of it. When we go to fast food places, we can't control how they cook the food, but what we can control is what we order. So if you look for the grilled option, generally the grilled options are less fatty. They're not cooked in oil. So that's probably one of the best options. If you can customize your meal, taking out cheeses or sauces that aren't necessarily needed. For example, on bacon and egg rolls, if you don't really like the cheese, because the cheese can add another 120 calories on pretty quickly, customize your meal. Most McDonald's and KFC and stuff like that, I think they do that now. I haven't been to one for flaming, I can't remember, Dom. I haven't eaten McDonald's for, I reckon, 15 years. Easy.
Oh, come on. I could do better than that. I've had McDonald's. I didn't give up alcohol, but I drank like twice since July. So I would say before that, yeah, I think it's like a great hangover meal. But since then, no, not really. Fast food, not really. No.
Yeah. Yeah. So for me, it's like the hacks are, what you can't control is what's put in it, how it's cooked. So change your portion size. Choose your grilled option if you can. Go for your. Don't forget the drinks. Okay, go for lower calorie drinks. Go for your zeros or lower calorie options, or water in that aspect. But control it. Don't eat the fried stuff. If you're going out with friends, order the veggies or the salad instead of the fried chips. That's so we can be mindful of our calories in and calories out. Okay, that's the most important part on a weight loss journey, is your calorie deficit. So if you are going out, being mindful from Monday to Friday of your 1,800 calories a day, whatever it is, and you go to the weekend, it's so easy and quick to smash out 3,000 or 4,000 calories without even thinking of it. like let's bring our meat onto the old half a kilo of fat, right? That's 3,750 calories, which, let's think about it. That's 2 or 3 frappuccinos from Starbucks, or about 3, I think, Big Mac meals from Macca's. Like, it's quite quick to be able to do
Three
that.
five,
To
yeah.
put it in perspective again, you've 5 days of the week, you've done your calories really, really well Monday to Friday. You get to the weekend, you have high calorie breakfast, high calorie lunch, high calorie dinner. Bust with dinner, you have, say, a dozen drinks. You can do 5 or 6,000 calories a day easily, times by 2. If you do it Saturday and Sunday, that's 10,000 calories. Take off your deficit of 2,000 each day. Just say, for example, that's 8,000 calories. That's 2 of these guys, which is a lot of fat. Okay, so it's quite easy to put on weight over the on the weekend. So let's be mindful of it. Make sense, Dom? Dom? Oh, we've lost him. That's cool. So yeah, is next question is avocado oil healthy like olive oil? Okay, I don't know who's asking these questions, but both of them are healthy in moderation. Okay, we've got to look at the what's the serving suggestion size and how many calories are in it. I think olive oil's got like 150 calories per 15 mils of a tablespoon or a teaspoon. So we've got to be mindful of that when we're adding it to our food, especially salads. Like, a lot of people love oil and salad on their salads, and they go to ham on it. So yeah, it's pretty crazy when sorry, Dom's just dropped out. I'm going to try and send him back in. It's pretty crazy when people go like overboard with their salads, right? So we have someone who wants to be in a deficit, and all of a sudden they're pouring that oil on it. I mean, it tastes really, really good, but it's adding tons of calories. If you think about it, 15 mils of can't find him. 15 mils of, here we go. Yeah,
Hey,
if you add on 15 mils or 20 mils or 30 mils of olive oil onto your salad, you're looking at nearly 300 calories extra. So they are both healthy. They're both fats, but we've just got to be mindful when we add them into our food, especially when we cook the food into it, because it absorbs that oil. So yeah, it's much of a muchness.
I think a small difference, really not a big difference. I think a small difference is people think avocado is healthier because the avocado, but it's not really the case. They both, as you say, have similar calories. I
Yeah,
think even olive oil has a higher nutritional value
yeah,
than avocado oil. But the avocado oil has the advantage of like the lower burning point,
correct. Yeah,
if you want to cook with it, right? Like seed oils, but seed oils are, most of them are crap. So
yeah,
if you want to use that for cooking or searing, avocado makes sense. Other than that, there's no real nutritional value of using avocado oil.
yeah.
Simple
Great.
as that.
Good
There's
answer,
not.
mate. Really, really
Yeah.
good. All right. Can you please go over the supplements you recommend again? Okay. This is pretty simple. We we in our group only recommend this protein powder as probably the greatest supplement of all, just because it's really hard to meet your daily protein intake and keep your calories low if you're trying to get it from Whole Foods. Okay. I think it's like 200 grams of chicken breast is about 40 grams of protein roughly. But the calories on top of that is where you get destroyed during the day. So if you use protein powder as a supplementation in increasing the amount of protein you need per day, that's where it's advantageous, because you're getting 120 calories for 25, 30 grams of protein, which is a really good return on investment. You've got to be looking for that 10% ratio, right? From if you're having 200 calories, you need to get roughly 20 grams of protein. So if you're getting more for less, it's even better. But if you're getting less for more, for example, if you go to a service station and you want to pick up a protein bar and it's 250 calories and 10 grams of protein, throw it back on the shelf and find one that's got like roughly the 10% return. The next thing would be a multivitamin, just to bridge the gap if you're not getting enough nutrient dense foods in. I'm talking about vegetables and fruits, because a lot of people don't like their veggies. So yeah, multivitamin will just help top up the gaps, I guess, in your diet. I don't know about you, Don, but I do take fish oil for omega-3 for heart and reduction of inflammation. Really, really helpful. I don't eat a lot of fish. I eat probably salmon once a week, which has got a lot of omega-3 in it, but I purely just use it for that reason. Creatine, again, it's probably the GOAT of supplements in terms of supporting energy production and muscle growth in your training. It really, really does help, but you've got to be consistent with it. Yeah, probably the only ones, maybe the last one I recommend is get out and get some sun and get some vitamin D. And that's free. That's free.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you've covered, and I just take protein powder and creatine, to be
Yep.
honest, because those align with my goals. The rest, sure, but I don't. I think there's a lot of bullshit out there, and
Yeah,
things are oversold. So I don't
definitely.
know. I think it really depends on what is your goal. If your goal is just weight loss, I don't think you even need creatine. At some point, I would implement creatine along the way,
Yep.
but that's nothing I would start with. Protein powder makes a lot of sense for a lot of reasons.
Yep.
Mike has already explained. Yeah, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I think I'd throw in one more super important supplement would be electrolytes. Now, it's not really a supplement; it's a combination of supplements. But when we're reducing the amount of processed foods in our diet, we lose a lot of salt, and not many of us add salt to our meals. So you really do need salt to rehydrate your body. So that would be probably the go. Look, the best rule of thumb is read the label. If you can't pronounce half the ingredients, just fucking throw it away. That's what I reckon.
That's a beautiful movement, though, in today's society, that labels are more and more readable.
Yeah.
So I think most successful companies who come up in the health industry have readable labels. Otherwise, yeah, don't read them.
Yeah.
Forget about them. Electrolytes, huge. Good point. I forgot that, but I think more of like how much do you really sweat kind of thing for me. If you don't sweat a lot, you don't need to stuff your body full of sodium extra on top necessarily. If you do sweat a lot, 100%, a huge amount of sodium on the side extra through electrolytes, some potassium, a little bit of magnesium is important. Make
Yeah.
sure you research your electrolytes well. Most electrolytes out there are garbage.
Yeah, and
Not well
they're very high in
researched. The
calories too,
composition
Dom.
is bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
good call.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm using one from Australia called Dr. Hydrate. It's like 15 calories. It's got magnesium, sodium, potassium. It's really, really good on the gut, and it's super good for energy in the morning. You got also remember, Dom, we sweat a lot when we sleep, even though if it's not hot or cold, right? And we do lose a lot of salt while we're sleeping. That's one thing we do. It's not necessarily just with exercise, so we've got to be mindful of that. So electrolytes will really, really help replenish that lack. And having it in first thing in the morning, I always find for me, it makes me feel more energized. I feel like I've revitalized myself. Plus, it's getting my liquids in. So if I can have a liter, which I'm just about done with my electrolytes this morning, if I can have a liter, I'm like a third of the way through of having, my 3 liters of water a day or 4 liters of water a day. So it does help, especially if you're just sick of drinking water, and it helps with the taste as well. So
you have that taste in there for sure. Yeah, I mean, I had that major impact doing CrossFit here in Miami where I sweat a lot. Usually after workout, I was dead. Like I couldn't do anything more. I was just completely depleted. When I introduced electrolytes, with that, I was ready to do another workout after that workout. So has a huge impact. Absolutely. Great point.
Yeah. Beautiful, Dom. Does sleep play as big a role in your diet when it comes to health and fitness? Yes, it's probably just as important as a calorie deficit, I think, in my opinion. That's the time when your body needs to repair and recover from, pushing yourself through the gym, or even being in a deficit is really making your body work overtime because you're reducing the amount of calories in. So your body's going into shock. So, like, I'm not saying severe shock, but it's going into enough. Sleep's super crucial. Poor sleep can affect hormones that regulate your appetite. If you get adequate sleep, it improves your mood, your energy levels, which impacts your motivation, the ability to get up at 4 in the morning if you want to, the ability to eat healthy, the ability to make proper decisions in life so you can respond and not react. So sleep is probably even more important than a calorie deficit. in maintaining and losing weight. That's my absolute opinion on that one. Yeah. If you're finding it hard to find sleep, naps during the day do help. They do count. I'm telling you now, they really, really do. That's one of the best hacks that I've ever had, managing your energy. So, if I had to pick, it would be probably sleep would be almost 1 or 2 in my top 5 things you'd have to do to lose weight and maintain.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely agree. I mean, if we're talking about reasons why we eat certain things or we might make certain decisions, a lot of them are based on stress, right? And where does stress come from? And how do we decomp? And we make worse decisions. And if we don't have that recovery period over the night, our day can take a lot of different directions: motivation, bad decisions, food, stress reactions, right? There's like most of the studies, the newer studies on sleep are just incredible, right? What they're showing, it's has such a high impact on your entire day and decision making, right?
Yep. It's the one thing I think I've learned, the one lesson that I've learned the hardest, especially when I got really, really sick a few months ago. I was having 9 hours of sleep a day because I was sick. It was kind of like a forced sleep. And like I was saying, I have this watch that I've had for probably 8 years, a Garmin watch. And it was the first time I've ever seen it come up and say, hey, you've had 7 days of optimal sleep. And it's like, it made me realize that I'm not prioritizing my sleep. I'm like most of you entrepreneurs out there that just want to work and get things done and make it happen. And then by the end of the night, you just feel like, let's just have an hour on the couch to de-stress and dumb myself my day down, and then end up having hardly any sleep. So yeah, it's definitely massive. So yeah, please, if you can, prioritize your sleep.
I'm not a napper though. It doesn't work for me. Napping doesn't work for me. Like once I nap, my afternoon is fucked. I'm not getting back on track.
I bought one of these desk chairs, Dom, that goes right back.
Mate, napping on the job. I can't believe it.
If I need a 20-minute nap, it goes down and I'm out. So it's really, really good. Yeah. Should I be going full extension on movements like squats and bench press? Great question. Absolutely great question. And again, full extension does help in utilizing full range of motion. So hopefully leading to better strength and muscle gain. But it all comes down to your mobility. Okay. You might have shitty hamstrings, shocking hips. You might not be able to, do a full extension in bench press because you've got a pinched shoulder. There's so many different factors that you might not be able to go full extension. So if you can't, don't. If you can't, don't. You've got to listen to your body. But go back to the absolute basics of weight training. Form is king. Form is king. Dom, I've had the pleasure of trying CrossFit and had my kids do it once before as well. And I remember quite clearly they were not allowed to squat with a bar until they used the broomstick handle or whatever, the dowel rod, and had that form down pat. And I fucking love that about CrossFit. There's, apart from it destroying every limb and joint in your body, the form is king in CrossFit. Okay, like you do a tournament and you don't do your kipping right, they take a point off you, or they don't count it right, and you have to do it again. And I think I respect that. I respect that a lot. So form is king. So if we're going in back to the question about full extension on your movements, it comes down to your mobility. So work on mobility. Massive, especially for people like me that are in their 40s. Mobility is king in terms of recovery and also moving around and getting your joints flexible and moving forward. I want to lift as long as I can, but in order for me to do that, I need to maintain my body, and that involves some form of stretching mobility. So if you can't do full range of motion, it's because something's restricting you or you don't have your form correct. So get a coach or a trainer or someone to show you how to do it and work on form first.
Yeah, well said. Not a lot I can just repeat.
Yeah,
not a lot to add.
Yeah, so it's imperative that you listen to your body and your range of motion, because you'll feel when it's time to stop. You definitely will.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right. How can I increase my press movements? I think that ties in well with what we just talked about. To me, it's form first. going light. Progressive overload's about slowly, progressively building strength over time. So not going from a bar to 2 plates on each side. It's not going to happen. Form and technique is absolute king when it comes to press movement. So increasing strength in any movement in that factor. It's don't ego lift. That would be my first thing. What do you think, Dom?
Yeah. I trained with Jace last week in Canada, and he obviously lifted so much more weight than I did. But I love focusing on the eccentric, right, on the way down, right, and really slowing that movement down.
Yeah.
And crucial for that is just taking a shit ton of weight off.
Yeah.
But it has such a huge impact just for me changing up that routine from just increasing weight, and just going over and over and over. Yeah, I love just really honing in mind muscle connection, honing into a movement with less weight. I think is a huge overlooked hack in the gym, where you just like looking to left and right and it's like, oh, this guy, oh, I see him, I see what this guy is pressing. All right, let me one up him. I don't know.
Yeah, and I guess to the caveat to the increasing any press movement or getting strength in the gym goes back to rest and recovery as well. Frequency, don't ego lift, and rest and recovery, and that's how you're going to be increasing any type of movement. But yeah, first of all, let's make sure you're in the gym and getting your form correct.
And eat your protein.
Yeah, eat your protein. All right, last question, which is a really good way to end it, is what should I look for on a food label?
Good thing. Yeah, we're just running a challenge with our clients on that.
Yeah.
Actually understanding when you take a picture of your plate of food, understanding how many calories are on there, that pretty much really dials into how we teach reading a label. 10% rule when it comes to protein, right?
Yeah.
If you just, for example, look at a protein bar has 200 calories. It has to have 20 grams of protein in there. Otherwise, you're not buying a protein bar. You're buying some kind of bar, but
energy bar generally. Yeah,
they're selling you on a protein bar. You're not getting a protein bar. So 10% rule, right? If you're eating 700 calories, your plate has 700 calories. You want it to have close to 70 grams of protein. 60 is fine too, but once you get to 40 grams of protein, you know you have a carb, fat, heavy plate, which will make your weight loss goal or hitting a certain calorie goal a lot harder if you don't take that 10% rule into consideration.
Totally agree, Dom. Dom. The other thing on a food label is being mindful of the serving suggestion size as well. Now, there are companies out there, and most of them do play around with serving suggestion sizes to look at the calorie ratio to lower it to make you want to buy it. For example, there's some low-calorie chocolate sauces you can buy from the supermarket. One of them on the front says sugar-free or no added sugar or something like that, but the calories are really, really high compared to the one that actually is artificial sweetener used in it. Okay, so we've got to be mindful of the serving size. For example, the barbecue sauces. I love barbecue sauce on my chicken. There's tons out there that will have 25 calories, 30 calories, but if you look at the serving suggestion, one says 10 mils, one says 20. 10 mils of barbecue sauce is fuck all if we think about that. Okay, it's not much. So look at the serving suggestion. It's probably the most critical part before you start going down to calories and protein. And that's the next thing is calories and protein. If they have it in kilojoules divided by 4.2, I just say 4 because it's close enough. That'll give you how many calories per serving, which is super critical, especially when we're in a deficit. Hey, mans. So then the next thing we'll be looking at is protein. Okay, we want to make sure we're getting enough protein in our diet. Some stuff doesn't have it, but being mindful of it is really, really crucial. Fats and carbs are more when we get to a point where we want to dial into a really low body fat percentage, and we have to get our macros really, really right. They're not important on a weight loss journey. The most important thing on a food label on a weight loss journey is the calories, the protein, and the serving suggestion size. that is probably number one. So be mindful of it because they fucking play tricks with pretty little stickers on the front that say,
Yeah.
no added this, no added that, but they've got a ton of other shit in the back that's bringing the calories right up.
Love it. No, great summary. Like really, the serving size. One says 70 calories per serving. The other one says 35 calories per serving. And the 35 calories per serving will have double the amount of servings in the bottle, right?
Correct,
In the bottle
yeah.
the same size. And you're like, oh, yeah, 35 calories. Oh, I'm getting half the calories.
Yeah.
But actually, they're not. And yeah, unfortunately, they're allowed to lie to us about that stuff.
That's the scary part, dude. Be mindful of it too, because I got tricked the other day in Aldi. There was I like those. They're called Wicked Sister puddings. They're about 17 grams of protein, 160 calories roughly. A really good chocolate pudding. Right next to it was this thing called salted caramel crunchy yogurt, and it said 17 grams of protein. I was like, yeah, I'm fucking taking that. I took it, got home with 400 calories. So I could have had 3 tubs of Wicked Sister for one of these tubs that had the fancy marketing on the front. I got sucked in, and I read the labels. I didn't even read it because I got sucked into the front label. So let me tell you, when I turned it around, when I got home and looked at it, I was like, I haven't eaten it. I just was like, I can't afford 400 calories in a little tub. It'll just overload me in my day to day. So be mindful of that, please. Okay.
But you could afford that. Come on. Right?
Not at the moment because I'm not.
you're not.
I'm not
getting that
training
cardio?
enough cardio.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I've backed off for the last 4 weeks. Dom, I've put on probably 2.5 kilos, which I'm fine with. I'll take it off when I need to. Because I'm hitting the gym harder. I want to bulk a little bit more, so I'm kind of balancing it out. So I really can't afford to go 400 calories.
Yeah.
If I was running and cycling and swimming every day like I used to be, no issue. That'll go super quickly, but I've got to be mindful of it. I'm like, okay, I want to dial right in. So I got sucked in. Okay. Someone that coaches people to read food labels got sucked into a food label. Go figure.
It happens. Yep.
Yeah.
Happens.
Go figure. All right, guys, thank you for joining us today. I really appreciate it. Again, if we didn't answer any questions, some of them I can't see coming up, so I apologize. If I didn't get to them, I will. Send me a DM if you've got any questions on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. We'll answer them straight away. But Dom, thanks for joining me, brother. I really appreciate seeing you again. Guys and girls,
Love it.
See you next week.
If you have any questions or if you're replaying this, let me know in the comments. I'll answer them on the next one.